Hopefully it's not too crazy. And yeah, OBS basically killed me. Couldn't figure out how to connect. Had some permission issues, but we're finally live. Welcome to whoever's on the chat or whoever's doing the stream. I want to be doing these a bit more frequently. Now that this project is slowly coming to a close, hopefully, I'm just here to kind of just draw, and you guys can just watch. Or if you guys have any questions, feel free to engage in the chat. Happy to answer them. This will hopefully be the first of many. I hope the sound is okay. I got the AC going in the background, maybe because it's just way too hot here in the city. So hopefully the white noise in the background isn't bothering you guys too much. Let me know if it is an issue though. So I guess I'll just talk through what we're working on here. This is basically a piece that will kind of be a summary of the cast of characters in the book. For context, if you guys don't know, let's see if I can switch this camera. Switch to the Sony camera real quick. If you guys don't know, I'm working on an art book series, basically like an extensive sort of 15 character design explorer that will eventually become something, hopefully a bit more. What that is, I don't know. Feature, TV show, who knows? But the idea is to kind of create these cast of characters, and I'm almost done with the art book. I have a range of like character sheets that I've done. Just a kind of really extensive sort of character sheets. Then I have some vignettes, sort of character posters, and then ultimately, some style frames at the end. The style frames are actually going to be so the style frames are actually going to be these. Some of them are pretty much good enough in terms of just getting this book out. Some of them I need to clean up still. So there's this guy, these ones, that one. The line work is still a bit rough. Some of them are more passable, like this one's fine for now. So the hope is to kind of get these done in time for Anime NYC, and hopefully, it'll leave a bit of an impression. People like the work. We'll see. So right now, I just want to kind of bring this project to a close by doing a series of live streams for you guys that you can follow along. Maybe I'll do them daily. I'm not sure, but I'll try to do them roughly around the same time. Uh, maybe like about midday Eastern Standard Time, so like around noon. Hopefully that's flexible for a lot of people, depending on where you are in the world. Um, I'll try to be semi-consistent with that. But yeah, more or less, this is kind of the goal of this series. It should just kind of give you guys some more content on the YouTube channel and to kind of hold me accountable to make sure I get these done in between projects. So currently, I started off with a sketch, and the inspiration for the sketch is actually something that you see in a lot of like the Capcom art books. So like Darkstalkers, for example, which is a really good one. They usually have like a nice little sort of composite of character art, that they do. Another one, Street Fighter. It's another good one here. Sorry, the camera angle's kind of weird. Like I have the camera to the side, so I'm instantly going like this, but just so that you guys can see. This a little bigger for you guys. Yeah, so like stuff like this, That's the kind of energy I'm trying to capture. This one right here. That's the kind of energy I'm trying to capture for this illustration. So hopefully you kind of see that now with the intent of this composition. So I don't have the story fully fleshed out yet, but there's definitely elements to it that I have figured out, which allow me to compose the composition in a certain way. There's a deliberate reason why characters are the way they are, how they're skilled, the way they are. The central figure, of course, being the hero. And then the kind of approach I did to kind of break this composition down was I started with him, and then I have the layers in order, so this should be pretty easy to figure out. And then I just sort of cascaded characters around him in the center. So I sort of built it up sequentially this way until finally got to a point where this one? Yeah. So yeah, you can kind of see how I sort of started building it up. So there's a deliberate reason why things are the way they are, which, maybe I'll reveal that in another stream. So for now, I just want to spend some time doing some drawing. And, let me know in the chat if you guys have any questions. Happy to answer them, but for the most part, I'll just be talking and drawing. Hoping to get a good chunk of this done today. I did quite a bit yesterday. It was pretty productive. This stream will probably be up for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half or so. So yeah, right now, in terms of the compositing, I'm basically putting all the flats in. And in terms of the shading, it won't be too complex. There'll be another layer of shading. Like a lot of my characters, as you can see, they wear white, and that's by design. If I show you, let me see. Yeah, I can show you here. There's going to be another layer of shading, which is basically this blue layer in some parts, so that, once I add that, it allows for some separation of the elements here, because things are starting to blur together a little bit, since all the characters, since the color palette is so restricted. I want to make sure I have that separation. But for now, yeah, I'm just going to start sort of focusing on this area here. If you recall in the original sketch, she has like some sort of aura coming off her like this, so I'm just going to draw that in. Just using just a random color for now, and then we'll move on to the next character. So, let's see here. Let's turn up. Farblos. Hopefully I said that right. Thanks, man. Thanks for the message. Greetings, bro. Oh, nice. I'm glad you sent the message, actually, because I wasn't sure if the chat was working in OBS, but since it is, I don't have to be looking at the YouTube at the same time. That's great. I just don't know how to see. Maybe you guys can let me know. How do I see who's viewing or how many viewers I have in OBS? That I can't seem to figure out, but I think that's fine. But yeah, thanks for the message. Appreciate it. Yeah, let's do this guy here. You know, it's interesting. Doing something like this, I started this whole sort of character design journey maybe 6 or 7 years ago. This project I've been working on for the last almost 4 years now. I would have never tried to do something this ambitious back then, even with all my experience in illustration, because, you know, human anatomy, composing something like this takes a lot of time and understanding, especially the anatomy part. So being able to do something like this definitely feels like I've reached another level with my creative work. Still have a long way to go, I feel like, though. Still so much to learn. This is definitely not for the faint of heart. Let's just use blue for now for this one. Actually, I have an element I can use from here that could be as a base. Like, I have these shapes here that I've been using already from the Illustrator file. So maybe I could just kind of borrow that as a starting point. This is the advantage of working digitally. It's definitely a lot easier to work smarter, not harder. Let's see, okay. Let's see if this works. Just gonna have this as a placeholder for this. Obviously, I don't want to cover her face. So yeah, since the chat is mostly quiet, I'm just going to be talking through my thinking process for this, like why I'm doing certain decisions as I work through. This is nice. I'm using this from my vector file because it's already quite circular, and I like some of the design elements already, so I don't want to constantly have to reinvent the wheel. But I will tweak things a little bit in the redraw, just to ensure that, you know, it's not covering her so much. To the front. Just change the color of this. Something more. Hoping that my OBS doesn't crash as I'm working through this as well. Things a little bit in the details here for this. Obviously, when working on a composition that's a bit more complex, you know, you have a lot of different elements. You don't want to. Obviously, it's helpful to figure out the sketch first before getting into the fine details of things. Obviously, the more, you know, the amount of fidelity in your sketch, the better it is to solve things. Meaning, like, you know, the more you can solve in the sketch phase before coming into the final lines, the easier this part of the process is, which is kind of like, you know, can be a bit more tedious. The other thing I'm doing very differently for this piece compared to this other stuff I've done is I've decided not to go in vector here because I want to add some more sort of rendered finishes, maybe some chromatic aberration, some glows, and working in vector, like something like this, I mean, it's a bit trickier to do that. You can do it, but obviously vector kind of sacrifices those fine touches, those textures, for, you know, being able to infinitely scale things, for example. Alright, let's see how that's looking. Just realized I drew that on the same letter, but that's fine. Just magic wand that away. Layer again just to see. Let's make this. Picking a random color for visibility for now as I sort this out. Obviously want to make sure, like I said, that I don't cover her face, so I'm just trying to see what are ways of doing that. Yeah, I think that's fine. Let's erase this. Don't want that. Kind of wing it here now because I have the rough circular shape, and obviously anything happening behind him, it doesn't have to be perfect in that roundness, so it's fine. Let's turn this black so I can see. Using some of the elements of the base sketch here to expand it out. I'm gonna turn off the camera for now, since no one's really talking in the chat or whatever. I'll just do this. There you go. Just keep it about the art. You don't need to see my ugly face. Here, I'll just make it. I don't want it to be red. I think it'll be Christian. Hey there, bro. You're the best. Thank you, man. Thanks for joining. Welcome to the live stream. Hopefully this will be the first of many. I say that a lot, but I'm trying to mean it this time. This. Kind of want it to feel a bit, really push the imperfection here a little bit. I don't need it to be too refined. It's covering her up a little too much, so let's pull this back. So I want to bring back that sword as well. So this is a bit of a complex zone here because I want there a bit of an overlap. I want that sword to be there. So that's this one here. Start with that, and then bring back the line as well. Yeah, nice. The line up too. So it's not it. Just the line work. Kind of just bring back the detail. Layer masking is your best friend for something this complex digitally. Doing this traditionally, all in one layer, it's insane. You have to do so much planning. And God forbid you mess up, you gotta start again. I think I'll keep this portal color red though. I think I might do might lean it more into like an orange or something. Shrink it a little bit. Let's do stuff like this as well. I tend to like to use solid color adjustment layer. Ali, yes, this is actually live. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer them. Let me test something here. I'm going to test something in OBS, see if this works. Let's see here. There you go. That worked. Once again, welcome. I wonder how many views I have. Let me see. It's been a minute. Welcome to you all. Make this a color. That. Not sure if this design is working for the sake of this poster, but for now we'll have it in here as a placeholder. And you can see if we need to change anything, tweak anything once all the elements are in place. still kind of designing and figuring things out. I know what to do for here. So it's a solid color as well. I'm running into an issue where the black of this portal that this character is creating is overlapping with her design. This is the issue of having a restricted palette. So one solution could be just to add a stroke to the elements so that just so that as I draw, if I want to add some more elements here, it doesn't get lost in the design of the jacket. The red kind of looks cool too, actually, the red stroke. See with the black background. Yeah, we're getting somewhere with this. This is looking promising. Don't know if the stripe is needed. If I want to just maybe keep pushing this, just to simplify it a bit. Just keep pushing these elements in more. You know? Kind of just being erratic with it, just to make it feel more organic than planned. Almost like it's meant to be like some sort of a force of nature, so don't want it to feel too designed, if that makes sense. Kind of just letting it flow a bit, and then I can refine a touch after the fact if need be. How's the sound for you guys, by the way? Oh, audio levels sound low. Hold on, let me see this. Let me see if I can fix this. Is that any better? Let me know if this sounds better or not. Ali, since you're the one who called it out, let me know if this is an improvement. It's coming along nicely. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. How's the sound, though? Is the sound all right? Great. Blends with his shirt, so let's do, I mean, red is not, it's not the worst color. Let's keep it orange for now, because I think anything else would be a bit, I think it's a bit much. Just keep it looking like this sort of orange space. I think that's fine. Okay, what's next? Ooh, yeah. So I mentioned earlier, for those who were late, I wanted to add an element here. So this character, her name's Arvi. She has a like this sort of glove here. And I think that might be a nice, element to add to kind of break the monotony of this arch here, this range of color. You have the yellow that kind of breaks it a little bit, but I think it needs something here because it's starting to feel a bit too blurred. Like you can't really tell where he ends and where she begins in a weird way. I don't know. Something about it that's throwing me off. It's blending it a little bit. So I might draw the glove here. But first, I'll take a mental note of that. I'm gonna just take a screenshot, or just probably take a photo. Yeah, I'll just grab this. Here, just so I don't forget. Glove noted. Is there a narrative to your characters? And if so, is there somewhere you're documenting this story or universe? Yes, there is a narrative. I haven't written out officially the synopsis, but I have character bios for everything. So let me see if I can. I'll quickly bring up my book draft. Um, and I can read you a couple of the. Yeah. So yeah, I got the book draft here. So yeah, there's gonna be that piece I'm working on right now is gonna be placed here, and then I'm gonna write out the lore, kind of like just like a synopsis, just something. It's not a script or anything. It's more of just like an overview of what the world is and the tension of the story, the supposed tension of the story, in like a few sentences. Um, so yeah, so for example, this is Click. Click likes lazy days, English rock cassette tapes, dislikes traffic, disregard for an open space. Click is a mute gunslinger and the wheelman of the Dangerous Quartet. She is a deadly assassin who, like the rest of her crew, is possessed by an entity whose motives are unknown. You guys read that, yeah. So yeah, that's one example. Let's see, what's another one? And then there's like the character sheets that I was telling you about. Each character will basically have like their own chapter. So this kind of starts as like the index, and then you have the characters. Another one is Igor. Igor likes Shujumu, dislikes the establishment. Igor is a young renegade from. This might change a little bit. I had him originally from London, but I think that might be a little complex. Renegade from Neo London and a member of the Dangerous Quartet. Earned his nickname the Dragon from his ability to orally release a lethal smokescreen that visually impairs his enemies during combat. When overpowered, he can also spontaneously combust on command as a last resort. So I kind of wrote these as like, verbal vomit, just trying to make these characters real as I designed them. And the bios kind of help not only figure out what the designs would be, but also the personality. So there's a wide range. And then towards the end, you have the vignettes, which are basically character posters, like kind of showing them more in situ, kind of building out the worlds, what they're about, who they're about, teasing some elements of the story that I have in my head, and then the style frames. So the style frames are basically, the best way I can describe it is, if this were to be a show, right? If this were to be a show, what would the OVA look like? Like, what would the intro sequence look like? You have the title sequence, and then like, almost like what you have in an anime, like a One Piece or something like that, where you're kind of showing different elements of the story, teasing different elements of the story, and getting more of a sense of the drama and like sort of key elements of the characters. And then like, this is a missing panel. I think I'll just do like the title sequence here, like Burizu Hispaniola or something like that. And then about the author. So the book itself is about, let's see, what we have here. The book itself is about 56 pages. Yeah, 56 pages. Yeah, so pretty concise, character essay, I guess you could call it. There is a lot of work here. Like I said, it's about like 4 years of work in this. I can't wait to get it out. I'm hoping to get it out by Anime NYC, which, just announcing that. I'm doing Anime NYC here in New York, obviously, at the end of the month, so I'm trying to get the book done for that. And once that's ready, it'll be like a nice little 8x10 book. I'll have that available for purchase at Anime NYC and also in my shop. I'll have it available in my shop as well. So yeah, catch up on the chat here. Ali, better narrative, characters, loving the character sheets. Yeah, that was something that had to happen first for me to kind of really flesh out the story. So I'm glad you appreciate the character sheets. Let's go. Thank you, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping people are willing to pay money for it. It's been a long time coming. So yeah, hopefully people buy into the idea. They like the idea, and we'll see. We'll see what they say. I personally am excited to just have it in my hands as well. you know, I have a draft of it right here that I showed earlier. You know, and it's nice to see the work printed. That's what also kind of inspired me to get into these books. Doing the zine as well, which is currently available on my website. The zine is not like a summary of this. It's more of like an overview of work that I've done under the Brisseaux moniker, like this character design work that I've been doing. So yeah, there's a lot coming hopefully for this. Let's get back to this joint real quick. Let's see if I can. So yeah, once I finish this piece, the next stage of these live streams would be just to finalize all these, like the line work for everything here. I got the color solved for the style frames. It's more just, you know, picking the ones that are super rough. Like I won't be able to finalize everything in time, but picking the ones that are super rough, right? Like this one. This one seems fine. That's passable. This one definitely I need to clean up. This whole page I need to clean up. These, yeah. So there's still a few. Like that one's fine. That one's fine. That one's okay as well. This middle one I need to clean up a little bit. You know, I'm up against the clock, but hopefully it works out. Rodrigo, hi Brisseaux. Do you plan to release a book with your art, like showing all the work that you've done? Yes, that is like the next chapter. I definitely plan on doing like a retrospective, like a Brisseaux retrospective. It'd be a pretty big book though, I imagine. There's a lot of work that I've done, from photo illustration, graphic design, photography, dabbled in photography a little bit, character design now, of course. Yeah, so there is definitely in the works, like just a Brisseaux Bible, if you will, of work. And that will probably come in like the next, I mean, I have to go back, I need to find an editor. Once I get through this, that's like the very next thing. It's to like start collating all the body of work that I've done. Marketing must be difficult. Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, yeah, guys, I mean, that's the beauty of social media, you know? Like, I'm always open to any kind of feedback when it comes to stuff like this. I feel like it'd be a mistake to kind of work in my own little bubble and try to figure things out on my own. So yeah, I mean, if anyone has any tips, especially on the marketing side, that's a tricky one for me as well. Happy to oblige. Happy to listen. Let's do, kind of want to draw this character now because that'll kind of help solve what's happening here, because this is dust. So we're working on this character next. Where is she? This one here. So I want to be able to just have it to the side here. I want to be able to see what the color balancing will be on here. So I'm just having her to the side here, see what's going on. So yeah, turn this off. This is basically the process I've been doing for each of these characters. The brush I'm using is a classic Kyle T. Webster brush. It's called the Animator pencil. It's my personal favorite. I use it for sketching. I'm using it for final artwork now. It's just like this really nice, hold on, has a nice texture to it, quality to it. Yeah, so it's I always like starting with the eyes, because I feel like if the eyes start looking janky, then everything is off. So that's the first thing I'll do, is lay the eyes down. The other thing too is trying to remember how I designed these characters, you know, like how am I designing the eyelashes, how am I treating their angles, basically respecting the model sheet that I have sort of developed for myself, because that's like the key to being a good character designer, is having consistency, and it's something I'm still working on, but want to make sure that everything feels consistent, feels right. Sure I'm not using too thick of a brush. Yeah, okay, that's good. Lose the two-dimensionality of the face. It's not like a true profile like the one here. It's slightly turned, so I just want to make sure I have that correct. Hopefully it's right. One thing that I've started doing recently, a lot more nowadays, is keep a sketchbook. It's kind of nice because I mean, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so to say that there is no pressure felt when drawing is a lie. However, it does feel a bit more relaxing because it's not for client. The thing with digital is you want everything to feel perfect sometimes, almost to a fault. And drawing in the sketchbook kind of allows me to embrace the artifacting that comes through figuring out a drawing. You know, all you have is an eraser, but you still have the texture of what was there before. And digital can feel a bit sterile sometimes. And now a lot of times, you know, I mean, still to this day, I still am a bit obsessed with the sort of cleanliness of the lines, but I think that's probably the reason why I'm liking this pencil brush a lot more lately, is as opposed to like the vector brush I get in like Fresco or something like that, because of the texturing and the imperfection you get from it. It makes the drawing, I think, feel less sterile, I guess. Let's see how that's looking. Yeah, nice. That's looking good. Okay. In here, kind of go all the way back. I know that's going to be covered, so I don't need to be too caught up on the details of this here. So what I'll do is I'll finish the hair here. Let's see, that's and then I'll just like kind of complete it. Just kind of have it go back like this. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just need some buffer so I can like shift things around if need be, scale things up and down if need be, that kind of thing. She does. Let me add some detail to the hair though. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I have it drawn here. Something like that, just to delineate the two sides. detailed than this, but I'll just should be good. Make sure I've closed off. Yep, that's all good. Just with the magic wand here, kind of going in and making sure I capture all the negative space as well as the outline. Then I invert. Just add a red. I know her hair is pink, right? So I got other characters that do that. So let me see. This one. Then I'll duplicate a couple times just to, because sometimes the lines can feel a little faint. So I'll duplicate it like a few times and then merge just to punch it up a bit more rather than having to redraw over it. Are there any key inspiration that's been driving your style and approach to the series? Yeah. Obviously anime, that's a given, you know. Stylistically, you see how I'm drawing the lines. Video game art too, you know, again going back to these Capcom references, Street Fighter, Darkstalkers. Also the animation style, what's that called? Where it's like there's no shading, or like it's like shadowless style. What's it? Hold on, let me see. Kagenashi style. Shadowless style, where you know you're minimizing the amount of detail in the shading, right, to maximize the complexity of the animation. You know, allows the animators to work more fluidly. Obviously, I'm not animating this, but something about that style that spoke to me in a way. And this inspiration kind of came later in the series, but it's what's been inspiring some of these style frames, where I'm kind of keeping it. Well, some of them, not all of them, but some of them I'm keeping it very sort of minimal with the shading. This one's probably the strongest example of that. Yeah, you're welcome, man. Dude, I just learned the style name only like a couple weeks ago myself. I always knew of it. You know, Naruto has it. One Piece, you know, especially like some of the better One Piece episodes, like what was the one that's probably from Wano? 10-15? The episode with Ace, that's a good one. One Piece fan letter, they use it in that style. They use that style as well. So yeah, so it's something. There's something really cool in its simplicity, and I think it complements my limited color palette quite nicely as well. So yeah, those are kind of the big influences. Also, just like good music. I mean, when I hear a track that speaks to me, that inspires me, that gets me going as well. I was listening to the new Clips album the other day. That was what inspired working on this piece here, for example. Tyler, the Creator, came out with a new one. That got me going. Yeah, man, there's a lot of things, mostly within pop culture, honestly, and then other artists too. Like there's some of my contemporaries that do some dope work on Twitter, on Instagram, yeah. So yeah, that's feeling. Okay, now that I have the pink hair here, I'm now seeing something. I kind of want this to go a little bigger now. Like about here. Something like that. something to this. Something to it. Let me see. I'm kind of jumping the gun here, but I'm trying to see if like the gradient might be nice for this. Should be more radial, maybe. Maybe do I invert? Let's see. Maybe. Let's see. Let it alone for now. Let's add some more details here to her face. I've also learned now to add my shadows on a separate layer, like the black shadows on a separate layer, or black fills, from the line work, because it allows for more flexibility. So if I wanted to play with the shadow color but not affect the line work, it just makes it a lot easier for me to do that, keeping them on a separate layer versus just the color for eyes. So many characters, sometimes I just kind of forget those fine details, like what color did I make their eyes? Okay, blue eyes. You should listen to the new Freddie Gibbs album. I did. That's with The Alchemist, right? I did. Fire. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Ian. Yeah, no, the Freddie Gibbs album is dope. In fact, that reminds me, after this stream, I might give it another listen again. I need something to get me in a flow state so I can wrap this piece up. But yeah, no, Freddie Gibbs' album is immaculate. He's such a dope artist, man. Mac Homie is another good one. He's a Haitian artist. He does like a lot of fine art releases, so he'll do an album and then he'll release it with he'll do like a little capsule collection, and you know, the vinyl is super limited, everything's super limited. Quick inverted test. Make sure she looks normal on the other side too. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Kind of wish I drew her this side because all the interesting detail is here with the tear and the X and the. Yeah, so I might flip flop. Let's see. Let me check, see if that still works in the sketch. Let's see. Because then I can add some of the more interesting details. Because this character is pretty symmetrical. Mac Homie. Let me see. Let me bring up my Spotify real quick, or let me just Google it. Let's see. Mac. Yeah, that's his name. Hold on, I'll put it in chat. Let's see if this works. Can't copy paste. Let's see. Okay. There you go. Yeah, check him out. He's really cool. Let's see what time is it now. It's 1:17. Probably stay on for like another 15 minutes and then I'll call it. I might do another live stream again tomorrow. If I don't finish this today. I'll be sure to announce it. Give you guys a couple hours lead time at least in case I do. I think it still works, having the characters flipped. I think it still works. You know, I think it does. I'm kind of thinking ahead here because if you can imagine, so this character's mask is quite blue, and then there's the gun here that's also blue. Having it the other way around, there was a bit of a, I was worried about that blend of color. The details might get lost a little bit. So I might flip-flop. Let me draw the other characters. Oh, she has the pink hair. Let me see. I could probably add a rose or something to break that apart. That should be fine. Let me draw them both. So yeah. I'm not a fan of her neckline here. Let's see if I can fix that. Kind of put more this way. Now. Dust. Reader on this side. Let's draw real quick. at her mask real quick, just to make sure I'm not forgetting any detail. Yeah. I rarely rotate the canvas, but sometimes it helps. Helps to get that straight line. Mask design can be a little, sometimes I think I might have over designed the mask. Might need to simplify this if this ever were to go into production, but yeah, sometimes I get lost in like where things are placed and how it's supposed to look. I have a side view somewhere. Yeah, this one. This, when it comes out, I have another detail here. Is that there eventually. Twists this way, something like that. This up and in. There we go. So close these off. This guy. So what I'm doing, like, it seems minor, but I'm just trying to make sure that nothing, if there's like a different component to the mask, that there's a bit of a jut out between the surfaces, just so that you can distinguish them. So like, for example, these two surfaces here, right? Those are two separate surfaces. So rather than drawing a straight line like this and just kind of doing that, I'm decisively creating a bit of a bump to indicate that there's some kind of a thickness here, right? Or something. That's basically what I'm doing, and making sure that it's kind of consistent where it matters. At least for me, the design. Alright, got our hairline up here. So got that Bobby Brown. Got that Bobby Brown haircut right here. Okay, sweet. And then her hair goes up. Swoops back. Yeah. And then I'll just close it off for now. Same thing here. Just close this off. It doesn't have to be perfect since it's hidden. No need to overdo it. Cool. Let's turn this off. Let's duplicate this a couple times. Start the process of adding the color. So the base color, make it red. Let's bring this into the art. Their hair is white. Blue with the mask. Just here. not going to draw the pupils because I kind of see their eye to be glowing. So I'm going to leave that all yellow. But again, that'll be in the rendering process. It's going to be a very simple rendering process too for this piece when I get to it. It might not be today, but yellow for the eyeball. Alright, let's see. So I think, yeah, I want to switch these around. These things are starting to blend a bit, actually, when I come to here, from the mask of this character into this. Because I'll have some shading, but she also has more interesting details on the right side of her face, and we're never showing the left, so I'm going to switch this around. Welcome, Vern. We just joined. What is this? Why wowie? Pretty shapes and colors. Thank you so much. Welcome to the channel. I don't know where you came from, if you just happened upon us on YouTube or if you follow me elsewhere. My name is Brisseaux. Brisseaux. I'm an illustrator based in New York City. Probably should have done that in the beginning of the video, introduce myself for those who weren't familiar. But yeah, I'm just working on a book project, an art book project I've been working on for the last 4 years. I'll be closing it out though. This is like sort of the latter stages. I've got this major piece that I'm working on, which is going to be sort of like a collection of all the different characters from the book. And then I have these style frames that I need to finalize some of the line work for, which I'll do like a whole string of live streams for that. Probably do one every day. I'll do one tomorrow, maybe for about an hour, just to like finalize the line work for some of them. And yeah, bring this book to a close. But thanks for joining. We're nearly wrapping up this stream. Obviously, it'll be up for a rewatch on my YouTube channel. Thanks for all who joined today. But yeah, like I said, I think for the end of this month, which we're already at the end of July, and then most of August, I'll be doing more frequent live streams. It'll always be around noon, and I'll be just like finalizing something that I'm working on for the book. Love your use of color and how mostly digital. Doing a lot of this, like, color choices are very reductive by choice, because I kind of see this being like its own sort of thing stylistically if it were to become animation, just to kind of stand out amongst the crowd, hopefully. My work has always been very vivid. I might do like a live stream where I show you guys some of my older stuff, but if you've been following me a while, you know that I like working in primarily bright, vivid colors. I'm usually, I mean, nowadays I am, but I'm usually not this reductive, like kind of restricting the color palette so much. But yeah, it's just been years and years of trial and error. Later. Yeah, so I'm going to invert these two characters and see if, yeah, I think already I'm getting like a better distinction or blend of stuff, but I want to make sure that, yeah, I think that's stronger. Switch this around again. So this will all go to black. obviously, so I'm not worried about that. Bring the radar down a little bit. There'll be some blue on the jacket here, so that won't blend. I'll have like a rose or something here, but this one, yeah, there's more interesting details on her that I want to bring out. Oh man, do you have any interest in making a comic with this story? I have an interest in writing a story for sure. Whether or not, what the medium will be is to be determined. I'm definitely looking to collaborate with a writer. I have a couple of people that I've been chatting with already for that, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I do intend to create like an actual story with this. You know, if this were to be a feature, I kind of see it as almost like a 4-act structure. Because there's like almost like a prologue to the film that kind of catapults the rest of the story. I imagine there being this sort of heist that reveals a dark truth, and then once that dark truth is revealed, it starts to snowball and affect the other characters that are introduced. So yeah, there's definitely going to be a story, whether it's something that I self-publish or I pitch it and it becomes like a animated feature of some kind. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. I'm actually locked in to do some character work for a feature film in the next few months. Can't say too much on that yet. Everything's under NDA, but super excited to be working on that project. And it's after that, once I finish my role with that, I'll be able to jump back on this and see what the story can be. Thanks, Verma. I appreciate that, man. Let's see. Where is she? Oh, yeah, here she is. Yeah, I just want to, yeah. So that's her details here. So let me just make sure I have that locked in. Let's see if I can do this freehand. I might have to sketch it in first, but let's see if I can get it right. Add some more. She definitely has a nose ring. Here. Let's try to draw that, the perspective right on that. The X. I do prints on the website. All my info is at the top of the stream right here. You guys can see that, www.brisseaux.com. You can go in there, check out my store. I have some limited runs of C prints available, which are like kind of these glossy prints. I have a zine that's currently available as well. But before I close out the stream, I'll be sure to show you guys. I think that X feels just a little too short. So let's redraw that again. This one. Okay. It's all good, man. That's what the chat's for. You know. I'm glad you guys are engaging. Just keep it civil. That's it. Yeah, feel free to yap on. It's fine. And I appreciate the kind words. The stream is running a little bit long, so let me just add these final details here, and then we'll call it quits for today. Obviously, I'll keep working on this. We'll show you guys an update in the community post in the channel. Like I said, I'll be doing more of these live streams, so be sure to tune in. I want to do them every day, but I don't know if that's possible. But when I do, it will be around noon Eastern Standard Time. And I'll be sure to announce like at least a few hours before I jump on if I decide to. This was off actually. What's that? It's my main source of income. I do my art every day. I have my own private practice. What I do normally is not typically this. This is a personal project of mine. But yes, I am a full-time illustrator and creative director. Been working in the industry for 15 years now. Yeah, I've been at the game for a while. Before that, I was in architecture, studied architecture at school before I decided to switch into full-time illustration. It hasn't been easy, I'll tell you that. It's not for the faint of heart, especially working for yourself. I had a cushy job up until COVID. Then I decided to take a leap of faith in myself and try to do something more exciting, which is to run my own business. But yeah, it's been a journey. It has been a journey for sure. Yeah, I think already now that's starting to feel more complete. Still a ways to go. Looking at the sketch, we've got these characters on the bottom here. We've got this guy. We've got the eyes at top. And then it's about adding the shading and some of the fine details as well. So yeah, I've got a ways to go. It's still only 2 o'clock for me, almost 2 o'clock for me. So I still have a few more hours to get cracking on this. But yeah, it's been a pleasure, guys. Really appreciate you guys joining. Oh wow, it's getting dark in here already. But yeah, just to recap, if you guys are interested, I do have some zines available right here on the website on Brisseaux.com. And yeah, I'll be trying to do more of these ever so often. I'll try to jump on tomorrow. We'll say non-committal, but I'll try to jump on tomorrow around noon again. I'll be sure to send like a message or something in the community posts, or if you follow me on my socials, like on Twitter or on Instagram, I'll be sure to announce it in the stories or in a post. And yeah, it's been a pleasure, man.